What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and I am back, and I am Mythic. So today, we are going to take a look at the game that got me to Mythic, and it's going to be a summons game. Now, summons is typically not a comp that I really love to play, but it is really strong right now. So in this video, we're going to talk about what types of things can make summon comps strong and some of the reasons also that I don't like summon comps as well. We're going to be playing a Zelhua game, and you might have seen at the top corner at the start of the video, all we need to do is get a 4th place finish. So we are really close to hitting Mythic, and the first win of the day bonus will actually get us there. So I'm just going to try to get 4th place, and for that, actually, summon comps can be pretty good because they can just be reasonably strong as a tempo play, and we'll see me pick up a Black Cat here with Shard of the Ice Queen, and believe it or not, that is going to be basically what pushes us in the direction of the summons comp. Just a lowly little Black Cat, and basically trying to be strong as we possibly can at every turn of the game. And just kind of playing tempo. I think that is a huge thing right now. When I say tempo, I basically just mean trying to play the strongest for the current board, not really trying to focus on the big crazy things that will guarantee you get 1st place or something like that. Really weird board on this turn because our best 2 units to pick up here are 2 more supports. However, we don't really have any evil units yet, though evil units are really strong right now. So picking up this evil witch is definitely something that I want to consider just to be stronger into the future. And what I'm actually going to do, because I don't have many other evil units, is I'm going to use the Wicked Witch to support the Mad Mim and just make a 3/5 out of that. I felt like that was the best use of our supports here, and then we'll place 2 supports on Black Cat to get a bunch of stats out of that, and then we will be able to tie this combat actually with Baby Root going on here. And now we see a nice little unit pickup potential here with the Water Wraith. And I'm also going to go for the Shrink spell, basically just to activate Cinderella. A few options here. Secret Stash could be good. We're still sitting pretty at 42 health though, and Hermes Boots has a lot of interesting implications for future potential comps. I think that Hermes Boots is really good right now because evil units and scam comps, things like that, things like Medusa and Cupid that get a lot of their value out of attacking are really strong right now. So for that reason, I pick up these Hermes Boots and we are off to the races. And we're going to have a pretty nice combat here. Our first combat with Water Wraith. It is going to see 3 things die, so we are already scaling pretty nicely, and supporting it with both the Wicked Witch and the Baby Root just gives it a little bit more survivability and allows a few more other things to die around it. I'll pick up the free roll and then the Mummy to go along with this Mad Mim, and then I'm kind of rolling for a, we've got a few things that we can triple here, but when I see Princess Peep, I kind of like that. We've got all of these Mad Mims, so we can make somewhat use out of the sheep spawns, and then, of course, we're also using the sheep spawns to grow the Water Wraith. I think we can get away with not playing the Baby Root here. I think that our Water Wraith grew enough in the previous combat that along with the Wicked Witch, it's got enough health that it's going to be able to survive and grow a little bit more. I will wind up moving some things around. It's always kind of a puzzle when you are playing summon comps, and it's always kind of tricky because you never get full value out of all of your units. It's really hard to summon 3 sheep, for instance, and we also get a little bit unlucky on this combat as my opponent's donkey is going to summon a bunch of things to take out my water wraith. So just a little bit awkward there, but that's definitely my first problem with summon comps. And my second problem, which we'll see a little bit on this turn, is that you very quickly want to replace everything that you're purchasing when you're playing summon comps. And here we've got 2 Sporkos and a Hippo. It's great that we are able to afford all of these things because we are Zelhua, and I do think that Zelhua actually, while not really seeming like a summon-specific hero, actually does lend himself pretty well to summon comps because of the fact that you can constantly switch in and out different things that you're purchasing. But again, like, just some awkwardness. We've got a Sporko pumping the water wraith and not pumping the princess peep. Of course, our hippocampus is just going to get fireballed, and we're going to go down in a blaze of glory on this one. So a little bit unfortunate, and we will wind up losing this combat. Not quite just because of that, but yeah, definitely got a little bit unlucky playing up against all of that here. I'll pick up a lightning dragon though on this turn, and lightning dragon can do a few different interesting things for us. One thing that it can do is it can die, which means that we're just going to have more space on the board to summon extra units for Princess Peep, for instance. And it's going to immediately grow the Water Wraith because it starts off next to the Water Wraith on this combat. And you'll see me pick up a Riverwash Mermaid here. One of the main reasons for that is, like I said, I don't typically love summon comps. If I can avoid playing summons, I will try to do so. So me picking up the Riverwash Mermaid is an attempt to potentially move into Slay this game and see if we can go from there. So Lightning Dragon is going to die. We've got another opponent with a donkey summoning a lot of stuff, but we're going to summon all 3 sheep on this combat. So definitely getting some nice stuff there. And we're also getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 +1/+1s on the Water Wraith. And you can see that all of those +1/+1s were important in terms of keeping it alive. Got 2 from the Black Cat, 1 from the Lightning Dragon, 2 from the Princess Peep, and then 1 from the Riverwash Mermaid. So I'm potentially looking to move into Slay rather than summons, and for that reason I don't pick up the Time Flies there. But then when I triple this Sporko, we see Monkey's Paw as really the only treasure in this shop, and that definitely brings me back into summons a little bit more. It's going to give all potential summons +5/+5, so it's a lot of stats, and is definitely going to push me back in that direction. I am going to play the Hippocampus again this turn, and it's going to do some good work for us again, just growing the Water Wraith. And again, we're going to see a combat where the Water Wraith gets every single bonus that it possibly can, the +6/+6 again, and surviving quite nicely. So that's sweet, but now it's decision time. We're definitely going to buy this XP because it's pretty cheap, and we are Zelhua, which just means that we can spend our gold pretty efficiently rolling and picking up some other stuff. But the question is, do we want to pick up this not Hippocampus, Time Flies and Princess Peep, or do we want to pick up this pair of Riverwash Mermaids? And because we've got the Monkey's Paw, I decide that, you know what, we're going to go for it. We are going to play summons. I think we've got the tools for it this game, so let's try it out. Now, Monkey's Paw, obviously a really good treasure when you are summoning. However, it does kind of further the problem that summons comp have, which is, well, we don't have enough room to play everything that we want to play. So that part is a little bit awkward. We can't play the Sporko this turn and still play everything else, but we get to grow a pretty decent Water Wraith, and then we've got a bunch of tokens that we're creating, and we will also get to grow some Hippocampuses as well, and our Princess Peep is going to make enough sheep that we are able to win this combat and take out King Midas. But part of the problem, like I said, with Slays is that you really do always need to be purchasing new units and kind of changing your comp. And we're going to see some baby bears here, which is great. But it's going to mean that some of these other things that we've purchased are not going to be as effective coming up. So we will throw in these baby bears. It's really, really fantastic for us that we are able to triple the hippocampus, and even more fantastic that we get to take a summoning portal. So that was really, really great for us, because now it means that we can play 6 units and play everything that we want to here. However, it's definitely still a little bit awkward, because now we're like... you'll see what I mean. Oh yeah, we wind up playing up against a Dwarves player, which is a little bit awkward. They've got the upgraded Lordy already, so they're going to be doing some nice work against us here. But basically, what I've been getting at, what I've been building to, is we've got this Water Wraith, we've got this Hippocampus, and we've got this Sporko, and those are the big payoff cards for us right now. But you can see, I mean, we're already losing this fight, and we've got all of these really good payoff cards, and basically what that means is we need to find ways to replace these payoff cards. I am going to pick up a baby bear triple here, just because I figure we'll want the tier 5 treasure, and we'll want to find more baby bears or something else down the line. So I go ahead and pick up that. But what we really need is a bear stain, and we are able to roll into it and find it. That's really the main reason that I took the ambrosia, is I figured that would at least power up a bear stain when we are able to find that in the future. I'm going to wind up cutting the Sporko on this turn and just playing the Water Wraith and the Hippocampus as the payoff cards. Don't think we're going to go into Good Boy, but it's something interesting to consider. But basically, I think that we're going to have to cut this Water Wraith and probably this Hippocampus too pretty soon. And it's a little bit awkward, because those are like the payoff cards, and they're the scaling cards that we've been playing around and building for, but they just really aren't going to serve us that well into the late game. And that is kind of my other issue with these summon comps. And it's very good. It's great to have this 41, 45 Water Wraith, but you'll see that as the game progresses, that just isn't going to be something that we can really afford to hang on to, because it's just not going to be as strong with the things that we're competing with from my opponents. I really, really consider taking another bear stain there, but I just roll past it because I felt like there were other better things that we can find. Though picking up these Water Wraiths and Princess Peeps, all of this stuff, definitely a mistake. Really just a waste of gold, because we're not going to be hanging on to this Water Wraith for much longer. What we really need is, well, I would have loved to have been able to cast this Evil Twin there, even on Zelhua. And kind of awkward, I tried to make a Lancelot work with not much time left on the clock. Just another mistake here, but it's fine, because you know we're doing pretty good at this point in the game. We do have the one Dwarves player that we have to watch out for a little bit, but otherwise, I mean, we are actually pretty strong at this point. But we are going to need to get stronger by the time we play up against this Dwarves player again, and that time is now. So I'm really just rolling for bear stains at this point. Bear stains and Echo Woods. I'm seeing all these baby bears, and I do think at some point I'll want to pick that up, but I know that just Echo Wood and Bear Stain are more important for now. So I wind up picking up the Echo Wood, and now I'm in a place where the I want to play as many summons as possible again, and I really don't care about the Water Wraith, because at this point the Echo Wood is going to be our carry. I'm a little bit afraid of everything that my opponent has got going on with how big of units they might be able to make, but I am able to add another baby bear to the board and just, I think, increase our power nicely here. So my opponent is going to have a Ring of Meteors, and then they are going to be able to slay a little bit against our bears, and by that I just mean get triggers on their Angries. But when my baby bears and mama bears and papa bears are resummoning, we are getting really, really big bears here, and you will see that we are able to do battle with my opponent's Echo Wood. This is a really close combat, but we are actually going to walk away with a win because I have some other units that survive. So that all works out really nicely. The ghost kills the third place player, and now we are just up against this Wonder Waddle again. And one other thing that I wanted to talk about with summon comps is it's really awkward to triple things. Obviously, I don't need any tier 4 treasures, but I didn't lock the Time Flies next turn. Picking up a Time Flies is just a decrease in power. Tripling these baby bears, again, just going to be a decrease in power. So you do want to triple things sometimes, so that way you can find more copies of the things. Like if we were just sitting on 2 baby bears for a long time, we would never be able to pick up a third. So you have to pick up a third so that you can pick up an actual third, and by that I mean playing 2 different versions of it on the board. My opponent is going to get some nice angry triggers against us because we still have all of these bear summons that we've got to get through, but once we do, we've actually got some really nice bears. One of my opponent's Echo Wood might go down just to bears here, and then my Echo Wood is more than double their biggest Echo Wood. So we are looking pretty good on that front, and we are just going to barely walk away with a win, but a win nonetheless against the Bearologist. We're doing some nice work. Crockbait, I rolled past earlier in the video. Don't really think I talked about it, but it can be really cool with bear stains. We can just throw one of these baby bears into a croc, and it just gets us a few more summons. There's not too many more ways to improve the current board. Now, one other thing that I could have done is I could have crocked a baby bear, and that way I could have picked up another baby bear without having to worry about tripling, but I think that this is fine. I'm kind of looking for another bear stain, and we find one here, though it is going to be a little bit awkward for us because it's going to mean that, one, yes, we can get a tier 6 treasure. That could be really good. We could easily replace the Ambrosia and then not have to worry about, well, I guess we could still get Pigomorph, but we will just wind up having an upgraded bear stain when we go into the combat. I don't know why I said not have to worry about, because a Pigomorph will definitely still be an issue, and it's awkward that, you know, another weakness of the summons comp is Pigomorph, especially because when you are playing with the Monkey's Paw, you have to play down a unit, so it's just more likely that you get scammed. But we do get to pick up the new Singing Sword here, which gives front row characters plus 15 attack now. Definitely a downgrade, even in, you know, this current board. It winds up being a little bit less stats for us overall, but it is going to allow us to just get a bunch of stats with these bear stains. I'll pick up a Medusa to round out the turn, and then Cat's Call. Actually looking pretty good here. It will fill the front row with cats that all have a bunch of extra attack too, thanks to the Singing Sword and the bear stain, and we just have to hope that the Medusa and the Echo Wood are going to be enough carries. But our frontline units are actually going to be really strong right now, so I think that we've got a decent chance here. One thing that I want to note, we could have still kept the Ambrosia, and we could have tossed the Summoning Portal or the Monkey's Paw, and then we could have thrown the Echo Wood in the Ambrosia slot. Wasn't something that I really considered until after the game. Maybe I wanted to hang on to the Ambrosia regardless, just in case I found another bear stain, but this is what I wound up going with, and winds up being pretty strong for us. You can see that the Time Flies are summoning with 84 health. The bears are resummoning with attack in the 90s, meant to say attack. So altogether, really strong combination of units here, and I think we're going to be able to battle through my opponent's Echo Woods even with just the bears, but Medusa is going to help out. Now we're going to summon some Black Cats, which we didn't even even need to do. We already had the win there, already had enough damage, but there you go. There is going to be a win. First win of the day will get me to Mythic as well. So that's pretty nice. And we were able to do it with a summons comp, which is, I think, something that is a lot more powerful right now. And you're definitely going to be seeing a little bit more in the ways of summon comps on the channel. Basically, the way that summons comps works, because the end game didn't really get much more powerful. You're really not playing Water Wraith in the end game. Maybe you've got more access to Time Flies. Sure, the Singing Sword was fine here, but the old Singing Sword would have been just as good, if not better. I mean, here we can see these would have been 22 11s, but when they resummoned, they would have had much more attack. Instead of having 100 and let's say instead of having 100 attack, you would have had 85 times 2, so that's 170. So yeah, Singing Sword can still get a little bit out of hand on the summon comps. But basically, the game is so tempo-oriented right now, and people are dying so much quicker, that summons, which doesn't have as high of a ceiling as some other comps, like, we didn't do anything super busted in this game, but we did make a pretty good summons comp. And right now, a pretty good summons comp can compete with the rest of the lobby. And I think that Zelhua can be a pretty good hero. There's a lot of, all of the really good heroes right now are good because of how they can work with summons. So Pied Piper, Cruella, Fallen Angel, even Krampus is seeing a lot of play right now. And that's all thanks to just the power of playing tempo, playing strong. And that's a lot of what we're going to see over the course of, you know, the next videos that I put out, because I will be going back to doing some daily uploads for you guys now that I have a little bit more of, basically I just needed time to build up a bank so that I could reliably upload videos every day. And you can still hear it just a little bit. Just talking sometimes get a little bit congested, but other than that, I'm feeling 100%. Feeling great. We'll put it at 95 or 90% maybe, just to be totally fair. Yeah, thank you guys for the support, both in watching and anybody that left a comment to wish me well and things like that. Really appreciated that. That made all of the time go by much faster. And yeah, it was just really heartwarming to read. But we're back now. We're Mythic, and we're getting into it with some summons. So that is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.